All right, let's go to my camera here. It's on black screen right now, and these are my final notes. This is what I'm taking into the final round, and then anything we learn on the front nine in the final round, we're going to make minor changes because we're still trying to dial some of these holes in, these par threes. So we're still treating them like artillery. And if we need to, we're going to make, we'll make slight tweaks as we go along. But that's pretty much what our bag's going to look like. So we go to Golf Clash Notebook. We go to hole number 1. Hole number 1, we're using an extra mile, a gingerbread ball, 2 top spin. And we're going for the green. We're starting off a little bit out here, more towards the edge of this, and we're using the wind and curl to try and bring it around this bend and towards the hole. So we're using, I believe we're using max curl. And so I'm pulling it out here quite a ways. So even if you hit it great to the left, you're using so much curl that if it hits out here great to the left, it's still gonna, that first shot's gonna bounce it to the right. You may end up further out here, but you're still gonna have a clean shot up here in the front. I'm not sure if we really have a absolute, I mean, I'm sure somebody's going to get it, but I'm not sure that we have a super legitimate shot at, albatrossing this hole. But on the last one, I actually came in and I went across the green right here. I went across the green right in this area and went up here and caught the hill and rolled back down to the hole. And it actually wasn't that far away. It was a mile away, but it was pretty close. I mean, there was, until it got to the turn where it came down the hill, I mean, it could have went in. It was an albatross shot. So that was hole number 1. Hole number 2, we got a sniper nav. We're adding 15% wind. And we added 15% wind on the front and the back when we played this hole. And we're hitting it from a little further out, and we're using just a little bit of topspin, and we're using max right-hand side spin with that navigator, which is only like 2 1/4, 2 1/2. And what we're doing is I'm moving the ball around until with like, I've got 1, let's say 2 topspin. You're in that area, and you're going to move the ball around until the ball guide picks up and goes through the hole. So you'll have to move it backwards or forwards, side to side, until you get it lined up, because there's these little moguls out here are messing our lineup. So if you find that spot, then make your wind adjustment. I'm adding on 15% to the wind. So if the wind is 4, 10% would be 4, and half of that would be 2, so it'd be a 4-6 wind. And our wind here has been right in the 4 range. So if you go in kind of thinking, the other way to work it is, we could pre-work that number. So if it's 15%, we're going to add 1.15 per ring with a sniper. So let's put 1.2 ring adjustment, and then we can take the 15% out of the equation because we know what our wind is here. So if we were playing one-on-one, we may or may not. If we had a tailwind, we might not add that on, because tailwind's going to help push us up that hill. But if we have headwind, we're going to need to add that 15% on because of the headwind. So let's do 1.2 ring per ring per ring. And then we'll just add that in, and we'll just do the 20%. Because we've still been, I mean, we were just a tit short, just a little teeny bit short both times, like right on the hole. I mean, if it had gone another inch, it would have fallen in the hole, at least the last time through. But we definitely want to increase our odds of hole in one on this. This is of all the par threes, this is our best shot. Hole number 3. All right, we're trying to land over here with our rock, and we're putting just a little bit of backspin, like 1/2 backspin, because we don't want the ball to get on one of these slopes and have any kind of top spin, because it'll just keep rolling. So we want it to hit and be wanting to come to a stop. We don't need to get far out there. We only need to get halfway through that island, and with a big dog, you got a great shot to the green. So anywhere in the halfway mark, a little short, a little long, we're still going to be good. Obviously, a little long is better, but the farther you get out on this island, the island slopes. So there's like a little ridge up here at the top, and if you're on this little ridge, you're fine right here, but everything falls down that direction. If you hit these rocks, you know, you're lucky, because if you get out here in the front and you try and blast through this and you end up in this rough here and you have any speed at all, you will end up in the drink. It'll roll right down that hill. I actually came to this hole and we blew a golden shot here. We were in the rough, but was able to take our Nirvana and bounce off this island and get right off the green, and had a very easy chip on shot and swirled the hole with it. Missed it. I hit it great to the right, and it went great to the right. So on this hole, we're bringing our rock, a big dog, and a Kingmaker X. And we're bringing the Kingmaker X because we want that extra power here, because it gets us on this surface without having to use any overpower. And we want the curl because we're trying to bring the ball around to lay it up. Then that Kingmaker X is helping us on the second shot because we're not using the wind here. We want to knock as much wind as we can down. We've got to use curl in order to get it to the hole, to bring it around. And we need the power to get over there. So there's no downside to bringing the Kingmaker X on this one. And it's a 4 power, 3 side spin, 3 wind ball. Hole number 4. Okay, we've started getting close to dialing this in where we actually have a legitimate chance, starting off on this side. So when I first came here, this is a Guardian shot. I was putting my ball on the fringe and trying to use backspin, side spin, and curl, starting the ball off up in this area right here, and then trying to bring it back to the hole. And it was fish bowling along the outside edge here, and by the time it got over to the green, it just didn't have enough speed to get it all the way back to the hole. So what we've done is we've come off the green, and now we're out in this area. So what we've done is we're starting off on with the wedge on the blue ring. So we're wedging our blue ring into this spot right here, so that it's up against this rough and it's up against this fringe, and we're applying the same maximum backspin, as much side spin as we can get on it, maximum curl, and it's actually getting a lot closer to the hole. We're so close that I think if we hit it, the last time we were there, if we'd have hit it, we hit it perfect. If we'd have hit it great to the left, I think we probably would have, if we wouldn't have went in the hole, we'd have been seriously close. So we may move it out just a little when we play this. I'm going to make a note here to move out a little. All right, that was hole number 4. Hole number 5. All right, we're still playing this pretty consistent. We're using a rock, and we're using our rock. You're going to use whatever driver you have that's the most accurate and has the most distance, that combination. So in my case, my rock has a little bit more distance than my quarterback. Not as much topspin, but here we don't need the topspin. We're just laying up out here at the top. And I'm putting on like one, I actually think I'm putting on like maybe 1 topspin. And then we're using a sniper to get on the green. So we're ending up with our red line out in this area right here with our sniper. So we're having to put a little bit of topspin on our sniper to roll it to the hole. All right, hole number 6. So rock, sniper. And I'm bringing a Titan. I'm using a Titan ball. I wasn't using anything special here. You could use something and it would help you on the second shot. It'd get that sniper closer. But we're not having to apply a lot of our topspin. So I'm going to stick with the Power 3 ball and save those balls for another hole. Oh, this hole right here. So I have the first time around we made this shot. We're in this area. We used the snow globe. We didn't have to do any overpower. We didn't have to do anything special. We bounced out. It came out here. We chipped it in. We're good to go. Second time through, we did the same exact shot, hit it perfect, and it ended up in the sand. And we were lined up kind of in the middle, and we put on this shot, we put on max top spin and about 4.5 left-hand side spin to bring the ball, because when it comes out here, it wants to kind of go to the right. So we put this left-hand side spin on there to bring it back out into the open out here. And for some reason, wherever we landed, whatever our landing zone down here was, it threw our ball off. We might have landed in the middle of that hollow. It threw our ball off and jettisoned us off to the right, and we ended up in the sand. I'm going to have to go back and watch that video again, because I watched it 3 times and I still have no idea what happened. Hole number 7. This hole here, this par 3, we've got the guaranteed birdie locked in on this. We're using a Sniper, or excuse me, a Saturn and a Katana, and our red line's about right there, so we've got a little bit of maneuver room down here. Backspin, side spin, max backspin, as much side spin as you can get on the ball, right hand curl. And so we've been moving it out just like on the other one. And where we're at right now is we did, and I'm going to change that because we're still dialing that in. I'm gonna leave that like it is because we made a mistake on our. So we're putting the orange ring against the rough, and we're putting the middle of the clear ring right at the transition between the fairway and the fringe, and then applying all that stuff we talked about. And we're getting really close to the hole. I mean, hole in one opportunity time. But still playing it safe by being on this side and starting off on the green side instead of landing on one of these islands and trying to hop over the sand. I've seen a bunch of people biff this shot, and I do not want to take this shot from the sand. Hole number 8. Now this is a hole-in-one shot. You got to think of this as a par 3 with your driver. I mean, this is absolutely a hole-in-one shot. So we've been working on this, and with the firework ball and letting the wind, keeping the wind in it. I'm using an extra mile and a firework ball. I'm using about 1.5 backspin and max left-hand side spin. So the firework ball is good because that's 3 side spin. So I'm getting max left-hand side spin, 1.5 backspin, and this last shot I've been dialing in, because the first time I ended up out here, and then I just been dialing in the top spin to the hole. And I'm actually now dialed out all the top spin, and now we're in the backspin. And the last shot I was just a little teeny bit short to the left, but it was a very, I couldn't have been more than in the game probably 3 yards away from hole-in-oneing this par 4. So this is a shot that we can definitely dial in. It's going to take perfect shot though. You've got to hit this first shot perfect. If you hit it great to the right, you can still make it out here, because when it bounces over, if you hit it great to the right out here, it'll bounce over and hit here, and then on that third bounce, it'll bounce over this area, and you'll end up out here on the green. But if you hit it great to the left here, there's not really much room to go here except for in the drink. So if you're going to hit it wrong to the right. But I think this is an excellent hole-in-one shot right here. I think I have a better shot at hole-in-one on this hole than I do on the 2 middle par 3s. All right, hole number 9. We're still getting up the chute. We're still working on hole number 9. In one-on-one play, I played this and I shot up here towards the top, and I was using an extra mile, which, your landing zone with just like a 3-power ball, you're in this area right here, and so your run is through the narrowest part of this chute. So if you look at where the tee box is at, and you draw a line through that chute, if you're off here on great, which is 1 ring, by the time you get to that first bounce, it's almost to the rough. And that means the second bounce is definitely in the rough. Same thing on this side. You can end up in the sand. And so to try and get away from that, I've been bringing a quarterback. And I've been using my quarterback here instead of my rock because my quarterback has just a few yards, 3 yards less distance, but it has 25 more topspin. And with a 3 power ball, I can get almost to that shadow. You know, it's right in this range, kind of somewhere on that line. And from that spot right there to get over with my big dog and that Titan, I'm up in this area. And so I've got to negotiate the ball to get it to come down to the hole. So what I'm going to have to do is put topspin, side spin, curl, and try and whip the ball around and get it back over here. And I really don't have a shot. It's a shot to get on the green. You really don't have enough ball guide and stuff to really kind of work it right at the hole. So the last time I played it, I was going for albatross, so I used my extra mile and I got way out here, and then I was able to use my sniper and go for the hole. So, you know, if you really want to give yourself a shot for albatross on this hole, you're going to need to get farther out here. I mean, it's not that you couldn't make an albatross with your big dog from up here, but you have a much better shot at it if you're using a more accurate club with better ball guide, which would be the reason. And if you're going to come up here and your whole goal is to get far up here, then the next club that you're bringing, if you took the big risk of trying to get through this neck with that big driver and you make it, then the next club in your bag should be the most accurate wood that you carry with the best ball guide to give you a really legitimate shot. You worked really hard to get this distance. Now put that effort to work by pulling out that wood. But if you're going to lay up out here because of the distances involved, then your next wood's going to be, you know, your biggest distance wood. So I have, you know, the only way I could accomplish more from this is to bring out a bigger ball, and I'm not. It just seems wrong to use your layup club and bring out that big of a ball in an open area. It's one thing when you're trying to bounce over several of the holes, so you're trying to bounce over, so you're bringing out a bigger ball just to get over, so you don't have to use any overpower. Or you can do the shot with overpower with that club that's more accurate. But I think I'm going to, you know, I really like the sniper shot. I'm going to play this hole by ear. If I'm playing a nice clean round and I'm on track, then I'm going to play this conservative and I'm going to lay up and bring my big dog. If I find myself on hole number 9 or hole number 18 and I'm a shot down, and the only way I'm going to make it up is on this hole, then I'm going to pull out my extra mile and I'm going to go for it to give myself a better shot at the albatross. Now I could epic fail and end up screwing up out here, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. So that's you know, in hole number 9 I'm still working on it. So it's not falling into what I want it to do. What I want to do is and that's because in my account I don't have a maxed out rock. If I have a maxed out rock, which I have on my practice account, if you use a maxed out rock with, I mean, just a touch of overpower, you are up here. You know, you could bring pretty much any club in your bag and be able to get on here. So if you've got a big dog, you know, you're going to be more out in this area so that you can come a little more towards the hole. All right, that was just a little bit of a recap of all 9 holes. We've played the qualifying round. We had a practice qualifying round. We played 9 holes in our practice account in the opening, and then we've played our full round here. And so we're still working on a few holes, trying to dial it in. So as we play in the weekend round, we're going to work on them on the first 9 and see where we're at. All right, hopefully everybody has a great holiday, had great Christmas, and hopefully you do really, really good in the weekend round. Thanks for watching.